Okay, thank you for coming out, everyone. It would have been nice to have a better turnout, but that's okay. So my name is Kevin Proteau. I am running to be your watchdog on Penticton City Council. I'm holding the press conference on the steps of City Hall on Tuesday, October 16th here, because I feel like the elections is an important issue. And do people care about elections? Well, we got records amounts of people showing up at the advanced polls, so that tells you that people do care. Do they want honest elections? I'm pretty much thinking they do. So the role of our mayor and city council is to represent their constituents, the citizens of Penticton. For them, this has been neglected on many occasions. Specifically, with the very least, it should be agreed to conduct a manual vote count directly after the election to assure the accuracy of the counting machines. I have requested manual votes in the past two elections. Others, James Miller, Helen Trevors, and Elvina Slump, have also urged to reinstate a manual count for elections, but were subsequently shut down. This is extremely disappointing and begs the question from the community as to the truthworthiness of our electoral process. I recently read a letter in the Western on October 12th, "Does voting make me an accomplice?" By Dr. Jonathan Seavey, a well-known and respected member of our community. And he states, "There is no reasonable doubt that machines can be tampered with and hacked. As an expert being interviewed on CBC said years ago, if the ballot machines can be compromised, then they are being compromised." So I have with me, I actually contacted Jonathan Seavey once I read that letter. And again, our job is to represent the constituents. And so I feel it's important that they be heard. So Jonathan, if you can come up and...
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. My name is Jonathan Seavey. I'm just a constituent. But in my opinion, the integrity of the elections are the primary, the most important, and certainly the most urgent of all the issues in the election. And the rest are really trivia in comparison. It's vital. The elections, the integrity of them, the honesty of our election system is the essence of being Canadian. If that isn't happening, then whatever else is being done, you can't trust anything else that's being done in government. And in this building right here, they spent $77 million this year. Mayor Candidate, is that about the right number?
That's correct.
Last I saw was $77.3 million. That's about $2,000 if I'm doing the math right for you and every member of your family. I was just doing some math today. By the way, this is the key issue. The reason they criticize, they don't want to do these, is they say it's too expensive. A manual election, the quotes that the city has been given is $4,000 to maybe $5,500. I saw Lori in a letter sent down to Asuyas that suggested up to maybe $6,500. If a full manual count of the ballots is $5,000 and there's 35,000 of us in the city, that means there's 7 of us for every dollar that it costs to have the election. That means, now I'm not real good at math, but it looks like about 15 cents for each of us to have a manual vote. That's, you put your quarter in the machine, turn the crank, and you get a little handful of M&Ms. It's just nothing. 15 cents to have a full manual vote. We could do an audit of human beings reading whatever the machine has put out for a tenth of that, so about 2 cents a vote. To say that that's not within our $77 million budget. My feeling is any councilman or mayor or other who would vote against that, I wouldn't trust him to walk around the corner with my lunch. It's vital. The machines are failing worldwide. Could you hold that for just a second? Just to kind of see what was going on around the internet the other night, I spent a couple of hours. I'm shaking a bit. Elections hacking, voting machines. Our supplier. Oh, this is a kick. This is the company ESS, Election System Software. They are responsible for 60% of the voting in the United States right now. In 2000, they started putting remote access software into their election systems. They did that through 2007. They denied it. They finally admitted it in April of this year. That's 18 years they had that. There's no evidence. We know they were being used until 2011. By the way, these facts are coming out of the media, and I'm not a media expert, so I'll have to let the media experts determine whether they think Newsweek and the New York Times and the Guardian are reliable or not. I can't vouch for those. But according to Newsweek, the firm denied it until April 2018. So that's the number one supplier of election machinery in America, and they've got remote access software that was made by Symantec. Okay. The New York Times wrote, "The myth of the hacker-proof voting machine," says these systems were not initially designed with robust security in mind, and computer scientists have shown that nearly every make and model is vulnerable to hacking. That is February 2018. Fraud possible in Brazil's e-voting. Why machines are bad at counting, according to the Guardian. England and Scotland, they said there's a huge disconnect between people who are computer science literate and the people delivering the policy, who are the folks behind us right now. I wouldn't trust these people. By the way, there are a lot of reasons why people are trustworthy. Integrity is only one. Think about your doctor, your mechanic, your dentist. There are a lot of reasons why you trust that person. Integrity is only one. And the other voting, the same voting company, it's marvelous. Our core mission, they said, is maintaining voter confidence. Core mission. I love that. I'm with them on that. They also brag about council-directed recounts by hand, and they think that we should do that. I think so too. It's essential to us. It's 15 cents for each of us to have a manual count of the whole entire thing. There's no reason not to do it, and every reason to have human counts here in Penticton.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. That's awesome. And that's it. That's a concerned citizen. So we're supposed to listen to our constituents here. So I just wanted to point out, I put this out to all running, current and running candidates for the next elections here. And just to let you know, the ones that did show up is actually Mayor running Jason Cox here. Thank you very much for coming, Jason. I appreciate it. And he's come out to all my 5G forums. That's another reason why a big reason why I'm concerned and why I'm running for council as well. David O'Brien has also come. And so sadly, those are the only two constituents that came. And as for the press, thank you to Steve Kidd for showing up here. So just to follow up here. So I've been exchanging back and forth with our chief electoral officer, and it's been no secret. I shared it with the press. Sorry, we're outside here, so we just got to be patient with traffic when it passes by. So I had submitted. I came on October 11th for the demonstration on how the machines work, look at the machine, and everything else like that. And when it concluded, I had submitted my paperwork stating that I reserved my right to a manual vote count, which is enshrined in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms from 1982. In order to scrutinize the vote, one must be able to see the vote, and you cannot see the vote when it goes through a machine. So I did give her this, and I just want to point out that one of this a scrutineer was there. Athena, if you can come up here, please. So I just want to verify with you, is this the machine that you saw?
That is the machine I saw.
Pardon?
That is the machine I saw.
Okay. As well, we were given a demo of the ballot tickets when it comes out. So is this the it's a good example of the ballot here?
It's an example, but that's not what we saw because there wasn't names.
Well, yeah, no, I realize that, but
Same
that's,
idea.
yeah, the same ticker tape, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Well, since I got you up here, Athena, were you concerned at all with the, did you feel secure after when you saw the demonstration here?
Well, after I saw the demonstration, I had doubts. We did a practice run where we actually filled out ballots and put them through the machine. The first one that I filled out spit back out. So I redid it. I changed one dot and then it accepted it, though I had dots on other, on the counselors' little voting ballot things. So I'm concerned because it spit it out the first time. It shouldn't have. If it didn't accept what I had put on the voting spot on the little oval, it should have just taken it and not counted my vote instead of spitting it back out. But it didn't. So I have my doubts about that, about the way it reads the ballots. And the other thing that I have is a doubt about the cards and the security of them and whether they can be manipulated. Thank you.
So-
Just one question, since I'm the only media here, and
Okay, if you can save it to the end, though. 'Cause-
no, just quickly.
That's fine.
You were showing. Did Lori discuss with you the security of the cards, the security path?
Yes.
Okay. What is your actual doubts about the security then?
The security of them.
Oh,
First of all, the cards are in the machines which are at the advanced polling, and then they have to be transferred back to City Hall.
Did Lori not explain that
She
they're
did.
sealed when
She
they're
did.
into the
She
machine
did.
and then sealed into an envelope when they're taken out?
She did, yes, all that has been explained to me. However, on the last day, on the 20th, there's going to be a phone call from the senior center to City Hall, to Lori, and they're going to give the numbers by phone. I have my doubts about that. Mistakes happen.
Yes, but they're also taking the printout and the card back to the convention center. They're just sending in the results.
But
by
we
phone.
don't know if those cards have been tampered with. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
not.
I'm sorry, but they're
just a
sealed.
minute. Don't interrupt me.
I'm
I
trying to ask
don't.
you a question.
I'm not saying that I don't trust the people, the scrutineers, and everybody there, but things happen.
How do you think they could be tampered with when they're sealed and signed
I don't
into
know.
an envelope?
I have my
Well,
doubts.
but
I
that's
don't.
what I'm
I don't
asking.
have the answer. I have my doubts.
Okay, that's a meaningless
I have the
doubt.
right to have my doubts.
You don't have the right to have a false opinion. That's a meaningless doubt that you're not justifying.
Are you going to tell me whether my opinion is?
Well, I'm trying to get out of you how you feel that a card that is taped and sealed into an envelope signed by a third party can be interfered with at any point without showing the interference.
I don't know. I'll never get to see it. So I'm saying, so that we don't have to continue this conversation, that if we have a manual count after the election, then I would be sure that the machines did their job. Thank you.
Thank you, Athena. Okay, so, yeah, and I got my doubts too. I mean, there could be viruses in the cards. There could be two memory cards. I mean, it's not hard to print off two stickers that have the same serial numbers. I mean, there's so many things that could potentially go wrong. And like Athena said, I'm not accusing anybody that may be doing this.
But you are accusing somebody of possibly.
Well, if
doing
there's
it.
somebody that did it, then that would be the person. But I don't know who that might
But
be.
you're not giving me any idea.
But again, for peace of mind, it's 15 cents. But thank you, Steve. So I'm just going to continue here. So, yep, go ahead.
There's this is from Fortune magazine, which may or may not be credible. I'm not sure. But how VW paid $25 billion for Dieselgate, we all remember that a couple of years ago. Volkswagen car owners found out that running a test on computers, other than the normal day, like a demo, is not a good way to test computerized devices. Volkswagen illegally programmed their emissions control devices to behave correctly on test day, and then to just shut down the emissions stuff and do it different the next day. It was programmed to do one thing different one day and not another. Demo tests are not what we're looking for. We're looking for a reading of the ballots after the machine spits them out and says, this is who you elected. We need to read those ballots, not some test.
You're still justifying your
This
fears,
is
and
the
I'm
deal.
just going to conduct this like an interview, because, I mean, let's face it, that's what it is. You're not justifying your fear. You're talking about a totally different situation.
No, I'm talking about the same situation.
No, it's not the same
The experts that
situation,
looked at this
because
said this is the same
Volkswagen
sort of thing.
pre-programmed their thing. These machines are a lot simpler, and the cards are, contrary to
Now we're getting into opinion that's not justified by any of the experts at all. So I won't just. I'll let you.
Okay, but you're still getting into a debate, and I'm not here to debate with you. I'm here as a concerned candidate, but thank you. And he's here as a concerned constituent. So again, thank you, Steve. Thank you. So in my documents that I submitted to the city chief electoral officer, okay, so the history of the AccuVote OS machines The AccuVote OS was initially used in the Bush election in the United States back in 2004. Numerous papers produced by the Authentic Organization, example, Verified Voting, or Computer Science and Engineering Department, University Organization of Connecticut, and many others. Hey, hey, do you mind if I continue here? Thank you. Sorry, we're having a serious debate here. I guess he doesn't understand, being courteous here. And the research papers revealed that these machines are totally insecure and unreliable, and the following areas were proven to be major concerns: neutralizing candidates, votes not recorded, bias reporting counted, right recorded wrong. Oh, crap, you scared the crap. Peter Weaver showed, but he's just passing through. Change memory card with remote device, change results by disabling printer, swapping votes for candidates, memory cards were being misreported, locks can be picked, same as file cabinets, disabled print identifier with post-it note. The United States discontinued in some of its states the AccuVote, and the machines were banned from a lot of the states in California, and but they found a market in the States. So what I found out from talking to Steve here, because a lot of this is still relatively research material I got to do here just for the dates, but the purpose of this press conference that I'm doing it for, it's the accuracy of these machines. It doesn't matter when they came, how they came, it's the point. The moral of the story is, I don't understand what you're trying to tell me. Oh, okay.
Ruins my picture, and I'm not going to.
Okay, so yeah, okay, let it go. And but they did find a market here in Canada, in the municipalities across Canada. So Osoyoos and Penticton have these same machines, and I think it's roughly about 51 have these same counting machines. And so this study came out of the Connecticut University here, and I just want to show. So I obtained it. Okay, wait, first I need to back up here. So after submitting my documentation to the Chief Electoral Officer, she responded back, because it's not our Chief Electoral Officer, it's not the staff that we have to hold accountable here. It's actually the City Council and Mayor right now that actually voted this through. She pointed out the bylaw to me. So they voted, okay, let me see here. If a judicial recount is requested after preliminary elections are announced, it shall be conducted under the direction of the Chief Electoral Officer using the automated vote counting system and in general accordance with the following procedures. So in other words, if the machine screwed up the first time, we're going to use it again the second time. So they completely removed doing a manual vote count, which in my eyes, and I hope in your eyes, would be wrong to do. You should right away go to a manual count. And so the thing I found concerning as well is that when they did this vote, they did a first reading, second reading, and third reading all on the 5th day of June. So all of them took place at the same day and was adopted the 19th day of June. So I've given this document since October 11th, the history of the voting machines here, and in that time I've now I've got the full 17-page study that comes out of the University of Connecticut Voting Technology Research Center. So this is all they do, is research voting machines. Security assessment of the Diebold optical scan voting terminal. So it's all in here, and that was a general consensus at the end, what I just read to you here. So this is the proof here. So I'm going to be submitting this to the city here, and something needs to be done here. I mean, we need to have a manual count held. I mean, maybe what I can do is ask the suggestion of a mayor running here. What would you do if you were given this document? If you were current mayor? I mean, you probably wouldn't be in this mess, Jason, but if you can come up here, that'd be great.
I came here today to listen and to hear all of the points that you're making. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing a manual count. I think your point, sir, that using the machines and then verifying it manually after, better safe than sorry. If something can be manipulated, let's make sure it's not. So that's what I'm taking from this event today. So hopefully that'll be heard. I mean, the bylaw is passed. I don't think anything that's said out here today is going to change the fact that the machines are going to be used for the vote. But I think we can still make a decision about how we verify the vote.
Perfect, thank you. Didn't mean to put you on the spot there, Jason, but just wanted to see what your response would be, and and he's right. So hopefully this will be taken seriously, because again, I'm running as your watchdog, and there's a lot of things to be concerned about. And people often say to me, why would they bugger with our elections here in little Penticton here? I mean, this is a beautiful city, and like you said, $77 million there. And if anybody's looked at Shape Our City and Design Penticton, there's a lot of development coming our way, and or might be coming our way, and it's going up and down the mountains, up downtown. I mean, I can't begin to tell you how many residential buildings they want to be building, high rises. And my concern when I was at the Design Penticton event was with all this new construction here, did you do a water assessment? Because we're being charged for water and sewage. And sadly, they did not. And I find that very concerning. And these are out-of-towners coming here, being paid to tell us how we should develop our town. So that's a lot of money, folks. So there's reasons to, potentially something could happen with our elections here. So, but again, I'm not pointing any fingers here. I think Jonathan Seavey said it right. For 15 cents per person, we can just have a manual vote count and have peace of mind here. And hopefully the new candidates coming in, whether it be myself or not, they're willing to reverse what's been done here by the current council and give us back our democracy and have that manual vote count. So thank you very much for everyone for coming out. Thank you, Steve, even though quite argumentative, but it's okay.
I don't have much time here.
Okay, so do you have any other final questions?
Well, the main question is, the things that you listed off from that report are all items that are physical hacks that are protected from by our own security, whatever system's in place. So I still
like you said, whatever system. Yeah.
No, by our security system, Lori Darkus managing the cards, etc. The thing being manned at all times, etc. These machines cannot be software hacked by the card. The card is kept in secure locations and kept under, evidence level.
Well, my whole point here, okay, because I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not pointing, no, but because you're coming in on the thing is, it should be without a reasonable doubt that we should be safe in our elections here, and there is reasons for doubt. And that's why. Why are you so opposed to a manual vote count? Are you opposed to giving locals jobs for one day or something? Like, it's 15 cents per head here.
I'm not opposed to a vote count, but
it's peace of mind.
Exactly, I was going to say that. I have perfect peace of mind.
You do. I don't. Jonathan doesn't. There's many concerned constituents that do not. James Miller was concerned. Same thing with Elvina Slump and Heller Travers.
Okay, but what I'm trying to get at here, and you're not answering...
You're asking me to point fingers at somebody's...
I'm not asking you to point fingers. I am asking you to demonstrate to me, or tell me, where in this chain, in this whole process, the card can be tampered with or the machine can be tampered with.
The study's here.
No,
Find it out here.
Study,
yeah, but I'm not there. I'm not there for the whole process.
But somebody is.
That's what these guys do. It's what they do for a living.
I'm not disputing.
So yeah, I know. So that's
study, but it's physical. It's not. These machines can't be hacked remotely. Do you understand that? Do you agree with that? I should say.
Well. There's all kinds of ways. They're talking viruses, all kinds of things that could be on the memory cards. Yes,
not on that machine because it can't.
That's what's pointed out in here. So there's too many potentials. So the thing, like I said, at the end of the day, Jonathan phrased it beautifully. 15 cents a day.
You're still not telling me, and this is a question I'm trying to get at. Where in this chain do you think?
You're asking me to point a finger, and I'm not going to do that.
I'm not asking. I'm saying,
I'm not going to do that.
Where do you feel the security of this chain? I'm not asking you to point.
Where the security came is when they came over the border.
No.
Because they should have never let them in here. This is a small town, okay? Like, we still do manual counts for provincial elections. So, I mean, for the count, what, 6,000, 7,000 votes here? Like.
You're still evading my question, and this is what I'm
because I told you here. The problems are in here.
And I agree, fine. But those problems are all physical. They involve getting access to the machine itself or to the cards themselves. Where, and I don't want you to pick on a person or anything, I'm just saying, where in this line of security do you feel the security is weak?
I can't answer that without. I'm not going to say that. I'm not. You're not going to lead me here.
I'm not leading.
So I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you. Actually, you're the only press that actually put it out there. I mean, I got to be honest here. Being involved with the elections makes me even more concerned about how elections run here. I mean, they say politics is dirty. Running an election, you'll find out. Locals supporting locals. Kevin Proteau, your watchdog for City Council. Thank you.
Well, Kevin, I'll be right in the...
Okay, so Kevin Proteau here, locals supporting locals, and also running as your watchdog for City Council here in Penticton. So we just wrapped up our press conference in regards to these counting machines, and few people showed up, but I invited all running candidates, current staff, and as well press, and the Western showed. That was it. And sadly, only Jason Cox, who's running for mayor, he showed, and he showed some concern and spoke for a minute. David O'Brien. It is 3 o'clock, so some of the councillors and the mayoritarials might be busy, so I do understand that. Some of them, I feel, though, at the same token, they feel they can be ignorant. And by that, I mean they figure the less they know, the better, I hope this video reaches them, but that was my biggest reason for doing this conference. I wanted to see which candidates showed up, and I wanted to ask which ones would restore our democracy and have peace of mind. Because as you'll watch in the video here, and it does get heated, but with myself, with Steve Kidd, sadly it seems like reporters don't just report anymore. They got very strong opinions. I'm finding out with some of the papers anyways. And but Jonathan said it best. 15 cents per person, we can do a manual count and have this peace of mind, and I would never have to do this again, because this is 3 elections in a row now. I'm asking for a manual count. So yeah, watch the video, share it, let me know your thoughts, try to be polite. Thank you very much.